You know that some people spend years trying to lose weight, counting calories, running in the morning, and giving up desserts, but still feel hungry almost every single day? The strangest part is that the problem might not be the food. It might start in your brain before you even open the fridge. And one habit most people do in the first minutes after waking up can literally program them to overeat until the evening. But we'll get to that later. First, you need to understand one thing. Your body is not trying to make you lean. It is trying to keep you alive. For your body, losing weight does not look like an achievement. It looks like a possible threat. So every time you start eating less, ancient survival mechanisms switch on. They appeared thousands of years ago when the main problem was not extra weight, but starvation. That is why sometimes it feels like your body is sabotaging every attempt to lose weight. In reality, it is just doing its job. The first strange mechanism is called an energy alarm. When you do not eat for a long time, your brain starts paying close attention to anything connected with food. That is why, when you are on a diet, burger ads suddenly seem to appear everywhere. It feels like there are more of them, but the reality is different. Your brain has simply increased its sensitivity to any source of calories. It is literally scanning the world around you for food. And the stronger the hunger, the more active this radar becomes. But there is a way to calm this system down a little, and it looks too simple to be effective. Water. Most people use it the wrong way. They drink only when they already feel thirsty. The problem is that mild dehydration often disguises itself as hunger. Your brain receives a signal that some resource is missing, but it cannot always identify exactly what it needs. So instead of a glass of water, you suddenly want cookies, chocolate, or a sandwich. Sometimes the urge to snack disappears just a few minutes after drinking water. But even if you solve the thirst problem, the next trap is waiting. Eating speed. Most people eat as if they are competing in a race, but the brain works much slower than the stomach. Satiety signals do not appear instantly. They need time to reach the appetite control center. So while your brain is still saying, "I've had enough," you manage to eat half the plate more. Because of this, many people overeat even when they are not truly hungry. There is an interesting trick. After every few bites, take a small pause. Do not immediately grab the next spoonful. Put the fork down. Look around. Take a few breaths. It feels like a tiny detail, but this habit gives your brain time to catch up with your stomach. And suddenly it turns out that you need much less food to feel full. Now let's talk about the sneakiest system in your body. Dopamine. Most people think they eat because of taste. In reality, they often eat because of the expectation of taste. Dopamine does not rise only when you have already eaten the chocolate bar. It starts rising before that. When you see the wrapper, when you smell the food, when you only think about eating. This creates a strange situation. Sometimes the pleasure of expecting the food is stronger than the pleasure of actually eating it. That is why many people automatically open the fridge without feeling real hunger. But there is another thing that affects appetite much more than most diets. Sleep. If a person sleeps badly for just one night, very interesting changes begin to happen. The level of hunger hormones increases, the level of fullness hormones decreases, and the brain starts reacting more strongly to high-calorie foods. Basically, the body switches into energy search mode. It does not know that you just stayed up late watching a show. For the body, lack of sleep looks like a possible crisis, and crises require reserves, which means food. A lot of food. And now we return to the habit we mentioned at the beginning, the phone immediately after waking up. Most people open their eyes and within seconds look at a screen. Messages, social media, news, videos. The brain receives a huge wave of stimulation in the first minutes of the day. Stress levels begin to rise, and together with stress, appetite often rises too. Because the body sees stress as a situation that requires extra resources. That is why many people start craving something sweet in the morning, even if they recently had breakfast. There is a better alternative. Right after waking up, go to a window or outside and look at natural daylight for a few minutes. This helps synchronize your body's internal clock. Sleep quality improves, energy becomes more stable, and hunger during the day becomes more predictable. Sometimes the most effective habits look too boring to go viral, but they are the ones that last the longest. Now, the most interesting part. Many people believe that willpower determines weight loss success. In reality, your environment has a much stronger effect. If snacks are always lying on the table, your brain will think about them again and again. Every glance at food starts a new evaluation. Should I eat it now or later? Maybe just one, maybe two. Every decision like this slowly tires out your self-control system. So sometimes the best way not to eat a cookie is not to fight the cookie. It is to remove it from your sight. But before we finish, here is a fact that sounds so strange that many people think it is made up. When a person loses fat, that fat does not simply turn into energy or disappear magically. Most of the lost fat leaves the body through the lungs. Yes, literally, through breathing. Fat molecules are broken down, and then most of their mass leaves as carbon dioxide. So in a way, a significant part of your extra weight is breathed out. And the funniest part is that right now, while you were listening to this video, with every exhale, your body was already doing that process, even if you had never thought about it before.